Hi there guys, I hope you are having a good day. Grab yourself a cup of tea and let's talk some boxing. Now, David Haye versus Joe Fournier. Could this scale some kind of comeback for David Haye? I mean, I know this is a comeback, but it isn't one that comes in the traditional sense. I mean, he's had many comebacks before, and he is talking about the fact that he's injury free. He's 10 pounds lighter than he was going in against Tony Bellew last time around. He said that going into that second fight, he had rehabilitation with his Achilles and obviously his bicep as well, which was popped, torn off the bone. Basically, that is what he was saying. So it was difficult for him to go through that rebuilding phase and get his body ready for the second contest, even though he had the first one, or the second fight, but the first one it was supposed to happen was in December of 2017. What actually happened is the fight took place in May 2018. So he had around 6 months to get ready for the second bout after the first one, where it was supposed to come off, actually got cancelled because David Haye got injured again. So it has been a long road back for him, and his big comeback in 2016 didn't really amount to all that much, just 2 fights with Tony Bellew that he lost. So he said that in that contest he was injured, and he did come back, the injuries got better, but it was still there. There were niggles, there were things that were preventing him from doing certain things. Now he has healed, and he hasn't been doing that intensive training that he had been going into the second Tony Bellew fight, because obviously he had to get himself ready, so there were little things here and there that he wasn't allowing to heal correctly because he was training ridiculously hard, like he always does for every contest that he is in. The problem with that is he doesn't give himself that time to recover properly. Now, when you are injured, it is always important to keep that moving, because otherwise there will be a weakness there. So you do have to kind of train around it and find a way to continue, because otherwise that is always going to be a weakness. So if they can train and do it lightly, just things here and there to keep it moving, then you can build back stronger than you would do if you just left it completely. And that would work better doing what he has been doing since his retirement, training for about an hour a day, 4 to 5 times a week. That will give that body part time to recover, and then he won't have so many problems. Now, going into a fight with Tony Bellew, he was training a lot more than that, 3 to 4 times harder than he would have done in the past 3 years since his retirement. So therefore, David Haye seems to believe that his entire body has been given the time it needs to recover properly, and he will be in peak condition going in with Joe Fournier. Now, of course, he knows and understands he's a 40-year-old man now, and he isn't the same fighter he once was, so he cannot expect to go in there and be the David Haye he was 10 years ago, because that isn't going to happen. But what he can do is go in there and display the difference in levels. His last fight was against Tony Bellew, a former world champion. His next fight is against Joe Fournier, who got to number 10 ranked in the light heavyweight division within the WBA governing body. So he wasn't even recognized as a top 10 fighter in that division worldwide. It was just within the WBA belt. So ultimately, you can see the levels between them. That means that David Haye does not need to be the David Haye of 10 years ago. He just has to be a little bit better than in the Tony Bellew fight. Even the David Haye from the Tony Bellew fight, are we expected to believe that Joe Fournier can beat him? I don't think so. Levels will be shown in this contest, and it might give David Haye some kind of fuel to think, hang on a minute, I gave myself time to recover 3 years. I was training properly when I had injuries to make sure that the injuries were getting better, but I was still keeping it moving, and being back down at a lighter weight, I feel a lot better. Could there be a possible comeback again? I'm not entirely convinced that David Haye will be naive enough to do that. He could do. You never know what might happen on fight night. The fight might even be enough to tell him, yeah, this is it. I believe David Haye will get the victory, but it might be enough to tell him, okay, I'm glad I got the victory, let's move on. that time has come to a close now, his boxing career, or it might make him want to fight again. Maybe become some kind of prize fighter fighting opponents like Joe Fournier because the money is there for those kind of events. We are seeing that with Jake Paul and all of that. So there is an audience there for that type of thing. Maybe he could continue to do that. I wouldn't want to see him continue to do that because I think that he's done incredibly well during his career. So it would be a shame to see him go from the kind of fighter he was and the level he reached to going to doing events like this and doing them regularly. I think that this should be the only one for David Haye, and I'm hoping it will be, but there is always going to be something in there that makes him want to come back, especially if he gets a good victory over Joe Fournier. Anyway guys, what are your thoughts on this? Make sure you leave your thoughts in the comments below, also leave a like and grab that subscribe button. Thanks guys.